every day my kids saw a woman beating on their dad, and I just didn't want that life for them. I thought the paint would, like, not stop the decomposition, but, like, block out the smell.
I understand you wanted to talk to me. I want to know everything and anything that you want to tell me about whatever you want to talk about. Okay, and when we get done with that, if I have questions, I'll ask you some questions. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Where do you want to start?
This is 25-year-old Shelby Nealy, a high school dropout and father of two with a history of domestic violence. On the surface, he was a struggling dad trying to provide for his kids. But beneath that quiet exterior was a cold, calculating killer hiding a horrifying secret he would commit a massacre to protect.
Where's the first place you struggled with the hammer?
In the back of the head.
Back of the head, like right in the middle of the back of the head?
Yes.
He murdered his 21-year-old wife, Shelby Ivancic, in early 2018, covered up her death for nearly a year by posing as her, and ultimately bludgeoned her entire family, her father, mother, brother, and their 3 family dogs with a hammer in December 2018.
And then I whack him again a couple of times on the head to give him a quick death.
A concern for welfare was requested for 71-year-old Richard Ivancic and 59-year-old Laura Ivancic in Tarpon Springs, Florida, after family had not heard from them since before Christmas.
Calling about a possible welfare check on my father. He lives in Tarpon Springs. Been trying to reach him since just before Christmas, and without any luck. Him and his wife.
Okay. What's the name of the person we're going to be checking on?
Richard Ivancic, Ivancic, and his wife's name is Laura.
Okay. And you last spoke with him when?
I want to say it was his birthday, which was December 13th.
Okay.
Tried reaching him on Christmas and no answer, nothing since right before Christmas.
Okay.
As soon as I got close to the residence, I noticed an obvious odor of, human decomposition.
Police found a grave-shaped trench in the yard, blood-splattered walls painted over, and 3 deceased victims inside. Richard, Laura, and their 25-year-old foster son, Nicholas Ivancic, along with 3 family dogs. All 3 victims were beaten to death with a hammer found under a bed. On January 3rd, 2019, police pulled over a stolen Kia Sorento in Lakewood, Ohio. Driving it was 25-year-old Shelby Nealy. In the back seat were his 2 young children. But what police were about to uncover in the interrogation room was a real-life horror movie. 2 days earlier, officers stepped into a house of horrors in Tarpon Springs, Florida. The air conditioner had been running for days until it froze over, masking the pungent stench of human decomposition. Flies buzzed against the windows. A 6-foot grave-shaped trench sat empty in the backyard, and inside, blood was splattered across walls painted over with messy coats of latex paint. 3 bodies, wrapped in dropped cloths and area rugs, lay rotting alongside 3 dead family dogs: 71-year-old Richard Ivancic, his 59-year-old wife Laura, and their 25-year-old son Nicholas, all beaten to death with a claw hammer. But the most terrifying detail? Shelby Nealy didn't just slaughter an entire family in cold blood. He had already choked and bludgeoned his own 21-year-old wife, Jamie, to death a year prior, buried her in a backyard, and spent 11 months posing as her through text messages to fool her parents until the lie collapsed, and he decided to execute them all to keep his secret buried. In this video, you will hear the exact chilling confession straight from the interrogation room, where Shelby Nealy casually details how he ambushed 3 generations of a family, ate pizza over their bodies, and tried to paint over a nightmare.
How you doing, Shelby? Detective Anderson, have a seat. Cold? Yeah, some coffee. I heard you wanted some coffee, so we got you some coffee.
I appreciate it.
I understand you wanted to talk to me. I want to know everything and anything that you want to tell me about whatever you want to talk about. Okay, and when we get done with that, if I have questions, I'll ask you some questions. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Where do you want to start?
Well, we're not going bullshit. We know why you're here. It's for the 3 deaths and everything.
Okay.
Correct? Well, obviously I did.
You're saying the 15th going into the 16th, correct? So it's late at night.
Well, they died at like 1 and 2 in the afternoon.
Like who you
Laura.
go to first and then second and...
Laura goes to the store, Nick's at work, and that's the perfect time to get Richard. So he's got his back to me.
What did you hit him with?
A hammer.
A hammer?
Yes.
Okay.
I basically killed him with it.
Okay. Where's the first place you struck him with the hammer?
In the back of the head.
Back of the head, like right in the middle of the back of the head? You just came up behind him and hit him? Does he fall?
Yes, he falls.
He falls to his knees or?
No, he's unconscious. And then,
one shot, he's out.
Well, he's unconscious, yeah.
Okay.
And then I whack him again a couple of times on the head to give him a quick death.
Notice how Detective Anderson sits back and barely says a word. He doesn't press or accuse. He hands Shelby a hot cup of coffee and lets him talk. And Shelby falls right into the trap. Within 60 seconds, he calmly admits to a horrific triple murder. But pay close attention to how he rationalizes it. He claims beating an old man repeatedly with a hammer was to save him from suffering. Shelby is trying to paint himself as a compassionate killer. But as you're about to see, he isn't telling the detective the whole truth about what happened when the mother walked through that front door.
Okay, so if you had to guesstimate how many times you struck him with a hammer, what would you think?
I would say 5 to 7 times.
Okay, so Rich goes down, you know for a fact you killed him.
Yes.
What do you do next? I know you said you drug him, but how do you drag him? He's a big guy.
Oh yeah, he definitely was. I had to use that carpet. However,
where was that carpet located?
It was right underneath him when it happened.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
However, I waited until the mom got home to move.
So you left him there on the rug until mom comes home?
Yeah. And then I basically take her out before she can notice anything.
Okay, and where do you hit her?
Same place.
Back of the head?
Yes.
Okay. She drops immediately?
Mm-hmm.
How many more times do you hit her?
I would definitely say I hit her a good 4 to 5 times because after dealing with Rich, I saw that,
You want to make sure?
Yeah. I want to make sure that you're dead and not suffering because that, I know it's up, but that was the last thing I wanted was for them to suffer.
You said they were good people.
Yeah.
They said they didn't deserve what they got, right? Where did you get the hammer from?
No.
Was it in their shed?
It was in one of the drawers, like
a junk drawer in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's on the ground, they're both deceased.
Mm-hmm.
What time do you think it was that you get her?
She was like literally in the 2 p.m. range.
Okay, so approximately an hour later you get her.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're both down.
Drag both of them.
Do you know when Nick's coming home, or is it like, oh, I gotta get going, Nick could come home, I gotta get them out of the way?
At that point, I didn't know when Nick was coming home. So you're right. Definitely adrenaline played a big part into it, I think, moving in. But yeah, I got him out of there in like 5 minutes. And then I moved her in there. And then I cleaned up all the blood with the mop and everything. He didn't notice anything when he got home.
Okay, so you get both of them on their area rugs, into the room, close the door, you just chill with the kids until Nick comes home?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What time
is everything? It's like 6 or 7 when he gets home.
And was he at work?
Yeah.
You said you wanted to spend one last night with Nick.
Yeah.
But you said you have to kill him because obviously you killed his parents.
Yes.
Okay. So he comes home. Tell me what happens when he comes home.
He comes home, he brings some weed and everything. He's got edibles and all that stuff. I start giving him money and like order us a pizza.
What time so I'm assuming you guys are watching TV together and he falls asleep at some point. You're kind of waiting for him to fall asleep.
Yeah, essentially.
I'm assuming I have to kill him tonight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're watching TV, he falls asleep.
Yeah.
Where are you at when he falls asleep on that couch with all the blood stains, but it's at that point in time.
Here's how it happened. We're watching The Grinch and everything. He goes to sleep. I put the kids in the room. I wait until I think he's asleep. I fall asleep myself, and then I wake up at like 3, 4 in the morning, and then I grab the hammer, I tiptoe to him, and then I do what I did to them. I don't like saying it, but I do what I did to them.
Same thing, same hammer?
Yeah.
So the same hammer you use the same hammer to kill all 3 of them?
Yes.
So he's asleep. I I know it's hard to say, but we're almost there. You gotten through 2.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay.
I know.
So you go up to Nick, and then what happens?
I crack him right here.
In the temple?
Yeah, and then I just keep hitting 7 to 8 times.
Is it any time does he wake up, or?
He like jolted awake at first, I think, but his body was in too much shock.
So you clean up the area, you mop it all.
Yeah.
You move the couch, from the wall.
Yeah.
By the door over to by where you took Rich out.
Yeah.
Okay. Blocking that entryway. Okay. So you close the doors, and you said yourself, your kids can't open the doors.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is if I'm you is, holy shit, I don't want my kids opening the doors and seeing dead people.
Yeah, I know. That's why I made sure that they could
Okay.
get out. Yeah. Trust me, my kids are my #1 priority. I did go grocery shopping at Walmart to get myself a couple of things to like help it be easier for me. Like I grabbed spray paint to like spray the walls and everything to get the blood off.
What day did you start digging the trench? If you killed them on the 15th and 16th, what day do you think it was you started digging the trench?
I would say a week later.
A week later?
Yeah.
So you're staying in the house with them deceased and with your kids from the 15th and 16th until approximately a week later, and I'm assuming it's got to start smelling by then?
Oh yeah, I bought to help with the smell too. Incense was always going on. I had those Febreze things.
What is going on with the paint?
Oh, you mean on the bodies?
The paint that's poured all over them and it's slung all over the walls and there's egg on the walls. What happened there?
Alright, so let me take you into a little trip into my mind.
Okay.
You mind if I ask you something?
Sure.
Since I'm being cooperative, I'm just interested. Where did I f up with the car? Like, how'd you guys catch up to me? Was it the car that got me? I mean, I know I left it behind a bunch. I'm just curious.
There's a lot of things. There was no real one thing. There was a lot of things, and you did things. I think you may have thought you were doing them carefully, but you didn't.
Okay.
I'm not going to go into specifics.
Don't give me specifics. There's no reason to.
Yeah. I will say this. There wasn't one thing. What else do you take from the house?
His coin collection.
His coin collection.
Which was on top of the fridge.
On top of the fridge where you live now?
Yes.
Okay. What about IDs?
Yes.
Driver's licenses?
Yeah, I took that.
From who?
Rich and Nick. I could not find Laura's.
You looked for it, but you couldn't find it?
Yeah.
And what was the purpose of that?
Honestly, I know this company called LiveOps where you can work at home, but you gotta have a clean record. So that's what I was going to use that for.
You're going to use Nick's identity?
Well, my original thing is, I was planning on going back down there and, finishing burying and everything. I was going by myself, a couple of months by paying for their rent. And I was going to stay up in Ohio and bulk up a little bit and then go down and bury them and move them.
Bulk up, you mean muscle?
Yeah.
So you could carry Rich?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not even, I know that sounds retarded, but not even that, to give the bodies more time to decompose, to get them lighter and everything too.
Right.
But that didn't work out, obviously.
Look at Shelby's posture here. He leans back with his hands behind his head, almost like he's reminiscing about a weekend vacation. He just told a police officer that he shared pizza and watched Christmas movies with a guy whose parents he'd just slaughtered hours earlier, calmly waiting for him to fall asleep. Shelby thinks he's outsmarting everyone, even revealing his plan to gym bulk, so he could haul the decomposing bodies around later. But Detective Anderson is playing the long game. He hasn't even mentioned Shelby's missing wife yet, and watch what happens to Shelby's posture the moment that name enters the room.
Childhood. How was your childhood?
Oh, we want to go there. It was good, man.
Mom and dad both there? Single mom, single dad?
My birth father, he was in Texas my whole childhood. But, I had a stepdad and he took care of me, and I considered him my dad.
Okay.
And everything. I would say I had a relatively good childhood. Really started going downhill when my father killed himself. My birth father.
Okay. How old were you when that happened?
I was 17. Early adult life, I turned 18. I moved out of my parents' house. I'm still in school. I'm smoking weed and all this shit. I knock up a girl, and then just somewhere down the lines, I drop out of school. We marry, and I don't know. Shit was just. I think I just had too much going on my plate back then.
That's a lot for a young man to handle.
I just was still dealing with my dad's death and everything, so I started lashing out and hitting her and everything, and the marriage ended. So I went to jail for domestic violence for like a couple of days, and that was real, I would say, a wake-up call, but then it really wasn't, because like I started doing criminal stuff, because then I went homeless shortly after that.
Well, let me ask you on the homeless part.
Yeah.
You said your mom was good, you had a stepdad that cared for you.
Yes.
You were homeless by choice, you didn't want to live by rules?
Oh, no.
Or this was after the girlfriend and the baby?
This was after the girlfriend, the baby, the jail. So at this point,
but you
my parents
don't.
My parents don't really see a good person at this point.
Okay, I got
so
you.
They're not really trying to have that around, like under their roof and everything.
So how long were you homeless? Approximately
6 months.
6 months, and what changed?
When I met my second wife, which is their mother.
Jamie.
Yes.
Okay, and how did you meet Jamie?
I was a manager at Burger King by this point. Her brother was my employee. I went home with him one night and to smoke weed, and she was just sitting there in the garage, and we sort of just hit it off from there.
Was it like one of those love at first sight things?
Yeah, it was very quick.
Hot and heavy quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then me, her, and her brother moved down to Florida, and I started dating her and living with her, and that's when it really started getting bad. Everything was cool at first. Occasionally we would argue, and she would smack me here and there. I was like, it's whatever, it's a woman, they lose control of their emotions. And by this point, of course, this is after the whole domestic violence bullshit, I'm really not trying to hit a woman and all that shit. So, unfortunately, their daughter was very disrespectful towards rules when living under... Can I get some water? I'm sorry.
Oh. Get some water.
I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. Where were you guys living in Florida?
West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach, okay. Right down south.
Yeah.
And how did you guys pick that area?
Their dad was living down there.
Okay.
Way before any of them. Because the mom and him had gotten into it.
Mm-hmm.
They were arguing a lot due to Jamie.
So when it comes to you and Jamie, how do you think you're doing as a dad?
How do I think I'm doing as a dad?
Yeah.
I think I did pretty damn good as a dad. Yeah.
What do you think about Jamie as a mother? How do you think she does?
She did not do good.
Can you give me some examples of why she didn't do good?
Well, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. She's not alive anymore because of what she tried to do. We're going to get into that.
Okay.
I do apologize that when I first started the conversation, it was kind of hard for me to like piece together how to like tell you that, but we're at a good point now. She passed away. There was we'll get into this incident, but there was an incident down in Florida where she had an extreme case of psychosis, and I'm sure you can look up all her records and stuff. I'm sure you've seen that she's attacked her parents in the past and all that good shit. Mm-hmm. She would get into a mode that she just could not control. When I tell you, it would literally be like looking into the eyes of a demon. It literally was. So she came at my daughter with a knife after she had got done severely beating me. And there are scars on my body. And I'm not giving myself an excuse, man. I'm just telling you the reason as to why it happened. Mm-hmm. But when you come at my daughter with a knife, I had to stop you.
Right.
And unfortunately, I went too far. I choked her out, and then when the blood started coming out of her nose, I stopped. But
too late.
It was too late.
And where was that at?
This was at a house. This was the last house that we had down in Florida, and this was about a year ago.
So she's been deceased for a year?
Yes.
Where is she now?
I buried her in that backyard.
She's in the backyard of that home?
Yes, buried.
Okay. Did anybody ever ask you where she was?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I lied.
Well, obviously you're going to lie if, something like that has happened, but who asks you where she is? Doesn't Nick go, hey, where's my sister? Or her parents call you? Or
yeah. And thankfully, I knew her so well, I knew how to act like her. It was weird, man. They never talked to her over the phone or anything. I would just act like her. I was on text message and everything. Sometimes I would act angry at the parents and all this stuff, but I would just feel bad. So I would send them pictures and everything of the kids because like they were persistent. And of course, everybody else, because I left Florida immediately.
After that?
Yeah.
Let me, and I don't think I asked this.
Go ahead.
Approximately, what was the date that this occurred?
It literally happened around the year last year ago. Like,
approximately a year ago?
Like literally in the beginning of 2018, like January.
January of 2018?
Yes.
Is there anything else that you want to discuss about that incident that you think is important, or that you want to get off your chest?
Well, no, I mean, this is the type of shit she did to me.
What was that from? Fingernails, a knife, or?
This was a knife. This was a hammer.
Is that the mark right here?
Yeah.
Did you ever call the police on her?
The police were called on her multiple times in
Newport Richie? Or where?
In just in Florida and Ohio, man. Like, I was just under her control, man. Like, I know I come across as the evil one. Quite honestly, I am. I'm a monster for the shit I did. But unfortunately, there's a reason for the shit that I did. She would go in jail. Her parents would lie for her. She would come out. She would go into the psych ward. Her parents would lie for her. She would come out. I would lie for her because I was under her control. Every day my kids saw a woman beating on their dad, and I just didn't want that life for them.
Did you catch that shift? The moment Jamie's name comes up, Shelby stops playing the detached narrator and starts playing the victim. He points to scars, claims he was under her control, and insists he choked her to protect his daughter. It sounds like a plausible self-defense story, until you look at the forensic evidence. Shelby claims he merely choked her out. But when police dig up her backyard grave, the autopsy reveals something that completely shatters his story. And wait until you hear what his ex-wife reveals about his past.
So we just want to get some backdrop on your story from basically the beginning of how you met Shelby.
Okay.
And how your relationship developed, what your relationship was like, how your marriage was like, what your divorce was like, up until a couple days ago. Up until this all went down. So you go ahead and start and tell us how you met him. And
I was in school, 10th grade. So I was there and I met him, and me and my mom were having a lot of problems. So my goal was to set my mother, which sounds childish, I know. And I chose him because, well, he was an awful person, horrible in school, not the cutest, and I knew it would make my mommy mad. I ended up sleeping with him. He popped holes in the condom so I wouldn't go to college and got me pregnant.
He told you that?
Yes, he threw that in my face one day when he was fighting with me. Said the reason why my daughter was here was because of him, and so that if he wanted to take her, he could. So that's how I found that out.
So how long did you date before you became pregnant?
Maybe 2 months. I'd say a month after I got pregnant, he started beating me. He threw books at me in school, and kind of was really awful. It was very verbally abusive first, and then it kind of escalated. It got really bad towards my 7th month pregnant.
So he was physically abusing you through your pregnancy?
Yes.
Okay.
He was still smoking a lot of weed, and I don't appreciate it. I don't use drugs. I've never been around it, and I will never allow my daughter to be. And he got very mad at me one day, and I told him, don't smoke weed around my daughter, because he was trying to smoke it in the house, and he kind of flipped out. He hit me in my face, threw me up against a wall, broke a glass on me.
On your head or?
My head.
Okay.
I got cut a little bit, not enough to go to the hospital or anything. He cut his hand open.
When he tried to do that to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tried to take my daughter from me. He kind of knocked me unconscious, and the one thing that I keep flashing in my head lately is he stood above me with my daughter in his hands and said, "Watch your mom die."
Shelby tried to paint himself as a devoted, gentle father who only resorted to violence to protect his children. His ex-wife's audio completely demolishes this narrative, detailing physical abuse during pregnancy, extreme domestic violence, and a horrifying moment where he held their baby and said, "Watch your mom die." Shelby spent hours convincing detectives that he killed 4 people out of pure love for his children. But his ex-wife just exposed who he really is. A habitual abuser who poked holes in condoms to trap her and once stood over her holding their infant child while threatening her life. Shelby didn't kill to protect his kids. He killed to maintain absolute control. But even in jail, facing the death penalty, Shelby's arrogance hasn't faded. In fact, he's about to reveal a delusion so grand it stuns the entire courtroom.
Worst case scenario that I did get the death sentence, and by the time it actually all happened, these people are going to be in their frickin' 70s, going on in their 80s, not even aware of what's going on anymore, you know? So, who knows what's going to happen.
In 2023, Nealy pleaded guilty to manslaughter with a weapon for Jamie's 2018 death, reduced from first-degree murder, and received a 30-year prison sentence. In July 2025, Shelby Nealy's fate hung in the balance as his defense tried to paint him as a broken victim of past abuse. But the jury saw right through the delusion, especially after learning he was trying to sell a book off his own infamy. While incarcerated at the Pinellas County Jail awaiting trial, Nealy self-published a sci-fi romance book on Amazon with the help of Florida Alternatives to the Death Penalty, FADP, volunteers who helped type and publish his text. His author bio mentioned his children and stated he was awaiting his death penalty trial. Court transcripts revealed he told his mother he hoped the case's notoriety would help the book sell.
Does he tell you that one day he's going to be a famous author?
Yes.
And whatever money he makes, you know, could be millions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
He'll give it to you.
Yes, he said that.
Does he tell you that you kind of question him about that a little bit? Do you recall?
I don't recall
That's fine.
me questioning him.
Okay. But does he tell you that part of the reason why he might be successful is because, unfortunately, he's part of an infamous case?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
facing the death penalty.
Yes.
Possibly will end up on death row.
Yes.
And that might contribute to the book being successful.
Yes.
In court, calls revealed Shelby bragged his murder trial would make his Amazon novel a bestseller. But the public backlash was swift, and the book was quickly pulled. In July 2025, a jury voted 11-1 to recommend the death penalty for the murders of Richard, Laura, and Nicholas Ivancic. And then in April 2026, following a mandatory Spencer hearing where defense presented brain trauma evidence, the judge formally sentenced Shelby Nealy to death for all 3 counts of first-degree murder.
We, the jury, find by a vote of 11-1 that Shelby Nealy should be sentenced to death.
For more deep-dive criminal psychology and real interrogation breakdowns, hit like and subscribe button now.